my journey from being in my head, being overthinking, to freeing my mind, what else has that included? Well, getting out of my head really has been a feeling and sensing journey. To get out of my head and to get into my body and feel. And our intuition is a feeling. It's a gut feeling or knowing. It's not up here. It's emotion, it's feelings. And part of this process too has been following my guidance, having this trust, this knowing in my intuition and in my inner being. So the other trainings that I did, one was with Gina Mallison, and she does a malibration method that's calibrating emotions. And it's really getting into your body, feeling what you're feeling, and then releasing resistance through techniques using NLP in a very abstract way. So you're not focused on whatever the thing that is causing you the wobble. You're distracting yourself with these abstract things, and you're moving up the vibrational ladder with this calibration technique, and it works beautifully. I can say I've been doing this for a year and a half, and it has made huge differences in my life. And the other method that I did was with Liz Hayes, the Sync Up method. And that is a method incorporating the inner child and the inner being. And this is a different way of looking at the inner child. It's not digging into your past. The inner child is the physical part of you. It's the part of you that has emotions and desires and preferences. And it's really why we come to Earth. We come to Earth to experience these things in this lifetime. And it's not you stuck at one age. The inner child is this emotional part of you at all stages of life. And so Abraham talks about the relationship of you, and that's really your inner child and your inner being. And if you're not familiar with Abraham Hicks, inner being is what some people might call spirit, higher self, universe. It's this non-physical part of you that's eternal. And it's this relationship of your inner child and your inner being. It's the relationship of you. And really this is the unconditional love that we're looking for. You're looking outside, as Abraham says, you're looking in all the wrong places. It's really this relationship first. And once you have this synced up, then everything else becomes easier. Your relationships become easier. Your life becomes easier. Manifesting those things that you want in your life becomes easier. And Abraham talks a lot about allowing. And to me, allowing seemed like a mystery for a long time. And I think for a lot of people that still struggle with, how do I allow? Because really it's letting go. And so the steps of manifestation that Abraham talks about are ask. And that's your preferences and desires. You're doing that all the time just by living, by even living contrast. You're getting clarity of what you do want and you don't want. So you're adding to your vortex, you're asking. And the next step is given. Your inner being wants you to have everything that you want. Everything is already given. The universe is lining up in so many ways to give you what you want automatically. You're worthy of everything that you want. And then the next steps are allow and allow. And that's really just letting go and releasing resistance. And that's why I love the Mallison method, doing calibrations so much, because it really is all about releasing resistance and allowing. And I have experienced this so much in my life. releasing this resistance. And then I combine this also with the sync up method of syncing up the inner child and the inner being. So it's really about releasing resistance from that emotional part of you, the inner child, so that you're allowing and you're in that receiving mode at the level with your inner being. And then you're syncing up. And that's the place where you're receiving guidance, you're receiving that inspiration that makes life so much easier. It's not that, because lots of people are walking around without these tools and methods or even this knowledge. And, their life is working for them in different ways. But when you use these tools and live in this way, having this relationship with the divine, having this relationship with your inner being, life becomes magical. Life becomes so much easier and fun. And for me, it's also provided this steadiness of, I know everything is working out for me. I know all is well, that my inner being is always there with me. And I can let things unfold with so much more ease. And it really is the feeling. Feeling is the manifestation. And I know so much for myself, the way I feel is so different than, well, especially 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, even 6 months ago. And it's like a trajectory. Like I made this slow progress in the beginning where I was still in my head, but learning a lot, shifting. And then as I started doing these coaching programs, speed really picked up. I was like, oh, wow, I'm just shifting. Life is so different. And now I feel like my vibration is so much higher and I'm on this trajectory, just whoosh. I can feel the energy moving so much faster. And Abraham talks about everything as vibration. And I got that intellectually before, but now I feel it. I feel the difference in the vibration. I feel the difference of my vibration. I can sense other people's vibration. And when clients are talking to me, I can feel the resistance in things that they're saying. And I also do a discussion group on law of attraction twice a month. And that's a free discussion group. And I do some coaching in that too. And when people come with questions or talk about something that they're going through or working on, I can hear and sense that vibration, and I can sense those wobbles and resistance and give them some pointers. And then what I would do also with them working on one-on-one is do these processes, syncing, bringing out the emotion with the inner child, because you never want to suppress your emotions. Everything is emotion. And that's part of the problem or the difficulty. And I write about this in my ebook, that we all go through things in life and we push down our emotions because we might feel something uncomfortable. It could be a trauma, but it could be something small too. Most of us learn how to push down our emotions. We can use substances so we don't feel, but for whatever reason, we get in the habit of not feeling. And we think it's normal. And in our society, it kind of is, but it's actually not a good thing, because it can lead to anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, poor relationships, perfectionism, all of these things that on the outside, you could be living a perfect life, but on the inside, you're probably not going to feel very well, not be very happy. And that's where I was. On the outside, everything looked perfect, a great job, career, money, relationship, all of those things. But inside, I was like, why am I not happy. Like there's nothing wrong, but I just don't feel fulfilled or happy. And that's why, because I stopped feeling the emotions and have pushed them down for so long. So this is a process of tuning into your emotions so that you are aware of your emotions. You allow yourself to feel the range of emotions because they're all there to be felt and heard. And they're guiding us. They're telling us something. It's part of our intuition. So we don't want to deny our emotions or stuff them down. We want to allow them. So that's a big part of the processes that I do. And some of the other things that I've experienced through doing these processes, it is again the feeling and just how I feel internally, but also I've had physical benefits. I used to have really dry eyes that just burned. And by the end of the day, I could barely keep my eyes open. That's completely gone away. I used to have headaches during the day. That's gone away. As far as my overall health, I'm very much in tune with my body. I know what feels good. And a lot of this too is getting in tune with what feels better. And so even in exercise, I only do what feels better and what feels good to me. If I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to do it. And following that has led to, health, vitality, physical fitness in living that way. And it's so much easier. People meet me and think, oh, you must eat a really strict diet and work out all the time. I don't. I follow my body. And I follow what feels good, what feels better. And that's something too in your thoughts and emotions, what feels better. And that's something that we work through over and over in sessions. And talking about some of the other things I mentioned at the beginning, manifesting, living close to the beach. Another big thing for me, a big theme in my life is freedom. And that's, freeing my mind is the biggest thing, and freedom of emotions, to feel emotions. And it's freedom to work where I want and when I want. I can travel the world, and I have the last year. I've gone on 8 Abraham cruises. I went on 3 last year. I'm going to the Greece cruise next month, and then Hawaii in September. I've traveled all over, and I've been able to work from wherever I am. I've received free vacations, a free chartered trip to the US Virgin Islands, the Hawaii cruise. I was in the hot seat on the New Zealand cruise for my 50th birthday. All of these things have been happening, and been happening with ease and fun and magic. And so I know I'm getting close to time. But I'm so passionate about all these processes and this way of living. It's not just something you do once in a while. It is a way of living, because it's about emotions and paying attention to how you feel and tuning into your emotions and your intuition. And I work one-on-one with clients and do group programs from time to time. I also do a law of attraction discussion group that meets a couple of times a month. And I do that for free because I love it. I know when I found law of attraction, I wanted to talk about it with people. I wanted to find like-minded people. So I'm providing that space for other people that are seeking that. Yeah. And another big thing I just want to mention too is knowing the goodness of you and your worthiness. And that is a big part of this work. And that's the relationship of you and you that your worthiness, knowing your worthiness and the goodness of you happens automatically when you're synced up with your inner being. And then that trickles out to everything. Yeah. So I know I'm a little bit over time. So I think, Brooke, we're going to open it up for Q&A.
Yeah, thank you. That was wonderful. It's interesting because when you hear how to tame your overthinking mind, you think it's all about the mind. And what I'm walking away with is, yeah, it's about connecting. You come out of your head and into your heart by connecting spiritually and with your emotions. So while someone might have been looking for this one perfect formula about how to quit thinking too much, you literally said, well, actually, it's all about coming out of your head and into your heart and connecting spiritually and with your emotions. And you laid it down for us just like that, right?
Yeah, yes. And something I want to add to that was a great point. We want to figure out the how so many times. We think, oh, I want to manifest something. I need to know how. How is it going to show up? I need to know all the details. No, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your job. Your job is just to know what you want and then hand it over, because your inner being can deliver it in so many different ways that are more magical, that are beyond what you would have ever thought of. And when you get stuck in your head, you're blocking that. So give up the how and hand it over. And it makes life so much easier. You free up so much energy and time when you do that. It's amazing.
Thank you. Another thing I got here was, I loved how you also simplified the inner child, and you're like, that's all the time, and it's now, and it's in this life. Let's quit overthinking things about it. Some moment at one time or another, or some life or some whatever it is, what someone might thinking. Let's just quit overthinking. And it's about this life. It's about right now. It's about all that exists. I love that. And the suppressed feelings. Really, I do. I loved how you simplified how to tame your overthinking minds. That was great.